your tribal chief. He is back from, I guess, vacation. From out the yacht. I don't know. We all wish we could leave work like Romans to get off Roman's ass. So Roman came back and returned, along with CM Punk is going to be the one to finally face Gunther. We're finally going to get that match. All right, okay, cool. We had some things moving here. They was like, yo, all that was cool, but we got Summerslam to do. Let's hurry this the hell up, and that's what they did. We already figured out who's gonna, like, Becky gonna face between Lyra and Bailey. Spoiler alert: it's Lyra. Did you not watch the show? You may just okay, maybe not. Yeah, so we got that. I imagine, to be honest, I was like, it's not gonna be on the pay-per-view, but I was like, I think we're gonna get Nikki Bella. And I was like, I don't know if her sister shows back up, but I feel like we're going to get Nikki Bella, Stephanie Becker versus Chelsea in the Secret Herfus at some point here, just to be honest. But yeah, let's go ahead and chop up the main event. A gauntlet match, which is always great. And like I said with the Evolution, I'd rather have that than a battle royale. I hate battle royales, to be honest. Yeah, I was like, Braun Breaker. Now that Seth Rollins is going to be out indefinitely, and like I said in the, my Saturday Night Main Event, it was with the Evolution review, that the Money in the Bank doesn't expire until like this time next year. So even if he's hurt, it doesn't matter. He gets to have the briefcase, and that actually might be crazy because, to be honest, if I was going, I know I was talking about the main event, but hey, you're here. If it was up to me, I would try to keep it as close as I can to not revealing that Seth Rollins is coming back or he's about to be with injury. And his first return would be him catching in on the briefcase. I think that's how he should return. Anyway, neither here nor there. That's not what we're talking about right now at this moment. What we're talking about is Braun Breaker almost running the gauntlet, getting so close. So close. And if you would have asked me like who out of this gauntlet had like probably the best chance, it was probably going to be Braun, CM Punk, and probably LA Knight last. Well, Punk, Braun, and LA Knight last. I was like, they're not gonna give it to him that quickly, and him doing with Gunther, I was like, no. I was like, I'm not saying that they won't revisit this match again, but I was like, at the same time, not too soon. I was like, LA Knight has been around in the way that he had to get that win against Seth Rollins the other night. I was like, maybe they give it to him just because I'm thinking like SummerSlam, give Gunther somebody that he can face that we know he'll beat, but you won't. But I was like, but it'll be an event in of itself. Cause to be honest, now that we got, and I was like, even if it was Braun, it would have been also cool for his character, what the group's doing, and immediately throw him in with Gunther, and where we could say, Gunther gonna win, but I don't know. CM Punk, I was like, the intrigue is going to be there because of CM Punk, but now it's actually kind of like, man, do CM Punk actually win this one? Just because I was like, that's sort of where we're at with this one, so that's why I'm like, but to be honest, SummerSlam, the biggest event, you sort of got to pull out the main stop of CM Punk being here on a 2-night show or whatever. But the gauntlet match, I was like, I thought it was great. I thought it was very high stakes. It was very fast. It didn't feel like it was like 30-40 minutes at all. Like when it was like Braun's been in there for like 30 minutes. It's like, man, it's already been 30 minutes, crazy, because we seemed like we were running through people, even though everybody pretty much got in their time in their spots. I figured Penta wasn't going to be in there once he sort of got the number 2 spot. I already figured that. I knew that Jay wasn't going. I was like, get it, especially obviously, but once he did his encore in the middle, he wasn't going to get it. And LA Knight at number 3, it ruined it. So hey, look, I was like, to be honest, if I was doing the gauntlet, I think that they probably should have went with. I was thinking Braun Breaker. I just felt like the way they sort of set it up, the way Seth Rollins had the thing, the way they set it to do. But Braun is really the one that they're going to put the rocket on. That I would have just went ahead and just have it just hit tonight. Cause CM Punk could get a chance at any time or whatever. I was like, Jay, get in there anytime. Penta and LA Knight going to have to win them one contenderships to get in, but you get what I'm saying. I was like, Braun, I just feel like you go ahead and get this out the way of, your mentor coming down. You roll to the occasion. We're going to ride you to basically get the championship. I think they should have just threw him in there. But, hey, I was like, CM Punk money match. You can't go wrong with that. Then we got Roman Reigns coming back. And I ain't really heard anything that necessarily he will come back. I know there's always been misconceptions because SummerSlam's a big event. And he comes back around the big events. He sort of takes this lull time off or whatever. Because people were chanting for OTC. And I was like, okay, there must have been enough on the internet for people to speculate that he coming back. And he did. And you had all three of them ring, Jay, Roman, and CM Punk, which sort of does suck that you are missing Seth in this role, because now it's those two versus those three. Okay, they're gonna get their ass mollywopped the whole time. So, there was rumors of them bringing in people. Now that Seth's out, do you still bring in those people? Get them odds back. That's all I'm saying. I don't know. I think it's a perplex. Now CM Punk and Roman got beef, so it's not like they're gonna be linking up. They just got the same ops. That's all that really is. But no, I think I was like, it's gonna be, because you gotta imagine Roman's gonna get on the card. So is Roman go against Bronson Reed? Will it be Jey Uso and Roman Reigns versus Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker? Now that it's CM Punk going after Gunther. I was like, to be honest, that's sort of what I think it might be the match. You got two of the most over people with Roman and Jay versus the henchmen of Seth Rollins' group. I feel like that's the route they're going to really go with that one. But enough with the OTC. You know me. We also got Lyra beating Bayley to set up her match against Becky Lynch 1-on-1 for the Intercontinental Championship. You got to imagine that Lyra probably going to come out this one. I really thought that Bayley was going to get it, just because Bayley hadn't really had her chance against Becky 1-on-1. And I feel like you could have still told that story with Lyra in the background. But to be honest, Bayley always got something to do versus Lyra. That's like, if she's not in the middle of this, where do she go? Because I don't trust creative to figure out something for her to do if this is not the case. Where it's like Bayley, I'm like, Bayley, you can throw her anything. She a vet in this whole game. But I am surprised. I was like, but you can always, if Lyra beats Becky or Becky beats Lyra, Bayley's right there to get into a fight with, in a way that I was like, that's a new set of intriguing, matchups in a way. Yes, I know Lyra and Bayley just had a match and whatnot, 2 out of 3 falls. Was also, I was like, I like that they came out swinging again, because they had the gauntlet match and they had 2 out of 3 falls. I was like, all right. Let's get more. I was like, I know you can't do this for every Raw and all this other stuff. I was like, yo, let's get more of these kind of stipulations in here. I really wish we had more technical wrestlers so we could do submission matches. I don't know if you could really do that in WWE. You can do that in AEW, but in WWE, I was like, I don't know if. I was like, you could, but I was like, I don't know who there really is like that you could really do that. But not here. But I was like, but besides the point. Yeah. So I was surprised that she got the win, but I was like, but I'm not mad at it. I do feel like she does have to win this one, to be honest. Then she could go into Bayley, and that could be its own thing or something like that. I don't know. I just think Becky can do something else without the belt. You know what I'm saying? We had Chelsea Green face Nikki Bella, and it was just kind of like a match. I was like, that's why I said, I was like, I gotta imagine that it's gonna be Vaquer, Nikki Bella, somebody else versus Chelsea and a Secret Harvest, just because Nikki Bella was supposed to do something a lot more at Evolution. Didn't get to happen with kind of liver injury and stuff like that. That's what the speculation seems to be. That I feel like they're going to give her something to like I was like, I think she was going to probably come back in some capacity anyway or whatever. But I think now they're really going to try to find something for her to really do. Vakara don't have that match until like Paris, which I think is the pay per view after SummerSlam. So they got to give her something else to do. You want to put her back, put on the card. You're gonna put her with a legend, get that little rub. So I was like, that's to me what it seems to be what SummerSlam is going to be, like the next go of it. And I was like, I'm gonna say them for last. I was like, we got Roxanne and Raquel in a tag team match against the Kabuki Warriors, and they were able to make it out alive. I was like, cool match. I was like, pretty much just sort of just doing the Raquel, I was like Roxanne, you know, them just sticking together and stuff like that, while Dom is over here showing that he's like, hey, I'm healthy. I'm not healthy. Oh damn, who is that? AJ over there praying? That's crazy. I was like, which I think is funny. I was like, the whole Judgment Day stuff I think is funny. Everybody getting along and stuff like that. I was like, Liv put out like a tweet that as well. So it was like she still is sort of communicating with. I was like, you know, at least from our perspective, because you know sometimes WWE, they don't act like phones exist. So anyway, yeah. So I was like, we also had Karrion Kross do a video where we was talking about Sami Zayn. So I'm wondering if Sami Zayn comes back in enough time to set up something with Karrion Kross at SummerSlam as well too, because you got to imagine that I was like, SmackDown going to have some stuff as well, that if they're going to have 2 nights, I was like, to me they're going to do at least 5 to 6 matches. It's the biggest show, so therefore they're going to have more matches than they would on like some of these other PLEs we've had in the meantime. So that's why I'm saying we're going to have more than 5. I was like, Saturday Night Main Event had like 4 on there or something like that. So I gotta imagine that they're gonna have at least be 6. And I was like, we already got like a good amount too at the same time. I think there's at least like 5, so or whatever. But that's still not enough for the 2 days. So anyway, going to like the whole setup of the whole show with basically Naomi coming out, basically telling people like, don't give me your cheers. And I was like, how's she gonna flip this? But she was right. You didn't support the glow, you know, but you know how they got turned it. But I was like, but you supporting this. I was like, Rhea comes out, basically said, you stole my opportunity. EO comes out in some booty shorts. I did not see that coming. Like, if you would have asked me of the 3 who was going to come out with cheeks showing, I would have been like, oh, Rhea first. I was like, Naomi not really so, like I was like, cause her outfit and the gluteus maximus is out there where she don't have to. But EO, I was like, EO was either going to the club or she going to a hoedown or something with those Daisy Duke ride ups. They was out there. She was double cheeked up. But it sort of went off the rails. Kind of like, at some point, they were just sort of just like, you could tell like they were just squabbling in a way that seemed like, you know, like how Bronson Reed at one point was setting up to do like a double tsunami on CM Punk and Jey Uso, but he kept on like looking back in a way where you're just like, all right, who's going to show up? Obviously, it's going to be somebody big that's showing up. Y'all waiting for somebody to show up, and this is sort of what this felt like, where they would started squabbling, and it would just and Rhea also, just what I sort of noticed with her is that when it comes to these super situations, like Naomi was able to improv mainly because I was like, you know, she got a laugh, she got the caution thing, she got stuff she could say, you know, basically how she was just calling them heifers, and she's like, who the bitch now, stuff. But Rhea just sort of repeats the same thing, and a lot of times what she says is like, well, it sounded dumb the first time, I'm not gonna lie. That you could tell like they were just really waiting for Pierce to come through. Pierce to come through. And he said triple threat, which I feel like that's the right match. I was like, there's no, that kind of like, you need a clear, concise winner. the face Vakura at Clash at Paris. I was like, it made sense. Naomi should be able to get out of here. I think by the same, I was like, basically, she's going to get into it with Io, and like try. I feel like what they should do is have Rhea try to pin Io all the time, and like Naomi just sort of gets in the way, but not really, because Naomi's also being like smart with it, and Rhea's obsession with Io just costs her the match. But yeah, so I was like, but my whole point is that I was like, but Naomi comes out and she's over here celebrating, flaunting her thing, calling them all heifers and stuff like that. And also, I give them props for them also explaining the fact that she's like, oh, you don't know my next move. I know my next move. You thought I was going to go over here with Tiffany. I'm tired of all that stuff with Jade and Bianca. They can have that. I decided to strike when the striking was good, and we got a new champion. So I was like, hey, look, I'm glad it didn't take much. They came out here, told what it needed to be, and we move on. And that's pretty much how it goes. So they're shaping up this SummerSlam up really well, and also in a way to, I feel like, have everybody ignore the hell out that Jelly Roll Logan Paul match. Like, I don't really care about it. I'm not gonna lie. I like some of Jelly Roll's music. I was like, oh, that'll probably be another thing of like why, like, while it's not for me, it doesn't bother me. I'm just like, it annoys me how it bothers so many else of all the other wrestling people. Where I'm just like, yo, why is this something that grips at your soul? Like, it's like, and then like some of the reason behind, I'm like, okay, that I was like, just basically be like, you can't up the sanctity of my ring. That's what it basically sounds like. Like, for the people that's in a lot of these spots that come at the IWC for some of their stuff, I'm like, y'all are just acting the same way. And yes, I know the IWC is basically anybody that's in the internet or whatever, and there's divisions within it, of course. It's like any fandom or group of people or affiliations or whatever like that. But when you act like you're really mightier than thou sometimes on, like, especially when it's not like huge topics of like someone going extra at, like, you know, some of the women are sending mail and all this other stuff, like the stuff, creepy stuff that's doing too much. When it's come to the smaller scale, it's like some of y'all be over here acting like y'all higher than thou and y'all got the same complaints. But anyway, that's for a different topic or whatever. So anyway, that's Raw review. OTC, he's back. CM Punk, he's here. Jey, that's Jay. Braun and Bronson. I'm just saying names at this point. They had letters that sound like they were all in threes. Anyway, thank you for my rambling. Listening to it. Until then, let's see how this continues to go, shaping up for to be a good SummerSlam at this point. And we'll see how obviously SmackDown does with the cash in, because you know they're going to be all up in Jay's face. But until then, peace. I'm out.